What is up, everybody? Hunter. That's Luke. Say what up.
What's up?
They ain't seen you in a minute. Even though you're on the banner. But anyway, we are reacting to, what are we reacting to, Luke?
Craziest police chases on camera.
All right. Without any further ado, get us going.
The craziest police chases ever, and it doesn't get any more GTA than this.
You doing that in a golf cart?
Has all the fun of a high-speed car chase.
What the?
Not the high
what?
speed. But when you're wanted by the police, you do what you gotta do.
The crap.
Bye, have a great time. That includes stealing a golf cart and leading police on an infuriatingly slow chase through the streets of Los Angeles. While the suspect looked like he was having a great time, his four-legged passenger, not so much.
The dog's like, I don't want to be a...
The police to box him into a gas station parking lot, bringing the subspeed limit felony to a slow-mo ending.
I'm about to say, he definitely had a few beers.
When police
don't drink, don't do drugs, be a bit after you got arrested.
Make their move.
Looks like somebody just stole my vehicle.
This joyrider jumped behind the wheel of a cop car and sped off without the officer even reacting. With the police radio still on, it's like the thief had a narrator to his own car chase. Is that him laughing?
He is. He's laughing.
Yeah. When the adrenaline finally wore off and he realized he was driving a freaking cop car, he lost his nerve and bailed on foot, eventually trying out a new hiding spot.
Oh, man.
If you're getting chased through the streets of LA by a dozen cop cars, people would usually assume you're a criminal. But these guys just wanted to give back to their community. Or at least, that's the story they're
Is that money?
to.
Yeah.
More money out. Throwing more money out of the car. Whoa, look at that.
After robbing a downtown bank and speeding off in a black SUV, these brazen philanthropists drove through the city's suburbs, throwing handfuls of cash out the window. While it's not entirely clear if they were trying to spread the wealth with their neighborhood or trying to create a distraction big enough to make their getaway.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they made some locals very happy.
I've seen a lot of
This
stuff.
This high-speed chase is about to end in the weirdest way possible. And I'm not talking about the takedown. That was actually a pretty sweet pit maneuver if I say so myself. It's what happens next, which has everyone scratching their heads. After surrendering to the police and exiting the car with his hands up, this guy decides the next best option is to start breakdancing.
What?
Okay. Suspect doing some breakdancing here in the middle of the roadway, and he is definitely...
Maybe
that's the chopper pilot commentating that.
The charges? Or maybe bro thinks it's a new round and he's back in the Fortnite lobby. Either way, they'll have to go easy on him. They did tell him to get down, after all. What did they expect? What happens when you end up chasing a real-life comic book villain? A scenario which is just as crazy as their on-screen counterpart. When police began pursuing a black sedan through the streets of Santa Monica,
I couldn't really
little did they know that the passenger was dressed as the Joker.
Oh,
the
Joker.
infamous DC villain taunted the police from the vehicle's sunroof before making a run towards the beach. Maybe he was hoping to go for a swim or disappear into the crowd. But not before he stopped and helped bury and high-five a stranger. Next thing you knew, he was surrounded by cops and 1,000 onlookers. Come on, guys.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'd have to take a look at that too.
This officer had to check the manual when he spotted a horse and cart traveling with the driver passed out drunk behind the reins.
I saw that one. I saw that clip.
I know there's laws against drunk driving, but this is technically an Amish Uber. Obviously, an unconscious driver is an accident waiting to happen, so the police decided to block the road ahead. And after just a quick collision, the poor kid had reckless driving added to his charge of DUI. One question though, can you still call AAA if your horse breaks down? When you're already facing time for reckless driving and eluding the police, why not make the most of the chaos and live stream it? Wilfredo Garcia decided to capitalize on his 15 minutes of fame by going live on his ATV with the police hot in pursuit. Was it worth it? Well, his eagerness for likes got the attention of detectives who, after a quick scroll through Instagram, were able to add a few more felonies to his list. Everyone gets a guilty conscience from time to time, but this guy is the absolute king of telling on himself. When this red car got pulled over for speeding, the guy in the passenger seat suddenly felt all eyes on him.
Thank you for telling me who you are this time. Last time you didn't.
Oh, that was you?
That was me.
Why is he running?
Only in
He
Arkansas.
doesn't even have a warrant.
Even though he wasn't the one being interrogated, he suddenly got the urge to bail and run for his life. Our paranoid shirtless friend Roberts obviously had a reason to run.
You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna have you drive her car. Cause you got a valid license, bro.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
And when cops finally caught up to him, he got a possession charge for his troubles.
Bet that's meth, ain't it?
Oh.
Stupid. Dude,
Oh.
drive the car.
How fast is
He wouldn't have got caught with it
Dude.
either.
These police
Dude.
officers had to do a double take at their speedometer when they clocked an e-scooter at more than
What?
62 miles an
I've
hour
seen
down a
those. I
busy
want one.
Australian freeway.
Bad.
When challenged, the scooter rider decided
Really
to run
62
for it,
miles
diverting
an
into
hour,
a
though?
bike lane to
Yeah, I think
escape. His excuse for the erratic driving? He was late to his job. I guess you gotta admire his work ethic.
Dang. That's one way to handle you.
From the
Handle your
dash cam
business.
footage, this just looks like your average white sedan cruising through the suburbs. This car wasn't speeding, it didn't cross over into oncoming lanes, so what's the problem? Well, after a long joyride through the neighborhood, the vehicle finally stopped, and officers were absolutely dumbfounded
Yeah.
who was behind the wheel.
And before driving back home, this is what it looked like when he got into the driveway. They'll never find me under the bed.
How do you stop a vehicle that can literally drive over a cop car? Answer?
Oh.
Wait till it runs out of gas. When Joshua Yabbitt was looking for a ride home, he chose an M577 armored personnel carrier and drove it
Where
straight
did he-
out of the gates of Fort Pickett.
Oh, okay, that explains it. He
Police
got it
could
off
really
a
only
military
follow from a
base.
safe distance as the literal tank
I was
ripped through
like,
the
where
streets
do
of
you
Virginia
get that
on a
just in the
high-speed
middle
joyride.
of
Eventually,
He
the
must
ride
probably
came
just
to
playing
an end
GTA
with
or
Joshua
something.
arrested for driving a tank under the influence. What's
Dang.
the best way to pick up a country girl? A tractor. At least that's what this guy got when leading the police
Got a
on
helmet on and
low-speed
everything.
chase
Yeah.
through the sticks. As it turns out, tractors seem to be a quite popular getaway vehicle, although he's not using the cops anytime soon. After being pulled over and
Wow.
told to stand with his hands by his sides, the officer returned to his car to write him a ticket. Leaving the suspect without handcuffs was the officer's first mistake. His second was not paying attention.
He's even like, what?
In a blink of an eye, he was off. And so
I mean,
was
I
the
can't
chasing
blame him.
officer, only for the suspect to double back for a heroic escape. And while he didn't make it very far, I'm sure this cop will be more careful next time. They
I
say
mean,
that
you
senior
didn't handcuff
citizens are
him, bro.
liable
That's-
on
Yeah,
the
that's
road,
kinda cool.
and this
That's
very
on
sweet
you.
grandma is no exception.
she's
But
making
instead
a
of
high-speed
peering
chase
over the
right now.
steering wheel of a 1960s Volvo, this grandma was behind the wheel of a mobility scooter. It was clear to everyone that she might be a little lost, but despite the offer of help from a police officer, she was determined to find her way home herself. Now only if she could remember the address.
What?
She's zooming
This
on
police
that thing.
chase
Yeah.
isn't your average felony pursuit. The fugitive in question stole a police car and was being pursued
Oh.
down a freeway by police SWAT teams and a canine unit. They were eventually able to pull the pit maneuver on the fleeing vehicle.
Oh,
But
me,
here's where it
that's
gets
hilarious.
interesting. What should have been a fairly standard takedown and arrest took a hilarious turn
Oh, he
as
gone.
the officers
He gone.
closed in. Despite the attention of more
Oh,
than
no,
a dozen
he didn't make
officers
it.
and a police dog, the criminal was able to escape by stealing another police car. Someone should really remember to take the keys out of the ignition.
He
It
didn't
turns
make
out
it.
that you don't have to be a criminal to have beef with the police. This officer turned up to investigate a report
No
of a cow
way.
on the sports field, and instantly the stakes were raised. But tuning his inner cowboy, the police officer eventually was able to corral the belligerent bovine into a fenced enclosure. If only that solution worked. You know that saying, charging like a bull at a gate? It works for cows too.
Oh!
Ah!
Drink driving laws state that you can't be in control of a vehicle while under the influence. Apparently, that also applies to motorized suitcases as well.
I want one.
Look at me. Chelsea, look at me. Chelsea, look at me.
When she tried to board a plane in Orlando, she was refused on the basis of her intoxication. The resulting altercation led to a short pursuit through the terminal and Chelsea's eventual arrest.
What the heck?
She's gone. She's gone. She's better. Chelsea, you are under arrest. Put your hands behind your back now. Chelsea, you're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back now. Do not resist. Do not resist.
The result of her charge? A $300 fine. And she's not allowed
Yeah,
to operate a
I don't wanna
suitcase
pay
for
it.
6 months.
We're gonna go in the car nice and easy.
Not allowed to operate a suitcase?
The desktop audio, is that muted? Look, it says the volume says it's muted.
Because it's coming through the Xbox capture card.
Let me see. I'm just curious.
Scroll down and you'll see.
Microphone. Discord browser source. Okay. Alright, resume.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's a police car chase, not a police
Luke
car chase. When the fugitive does donuts,
didn't know
instead
this
of
wasn't my
trying to get
first
away,
rodeo.
This guy doesn't seem to care that he doesn't have a four-wheel drive. He's found his home in the sand, leaving the police in the dust.
I'm leaving that
Eventually, his
in, by the way.
cockiness gets the better of him, and this car chase comes to
In
a
the middle of the
crashing
video, you're like,
conclusion.
oh no, is it recording? Oh,
Not all police chases are adrenaline-filled, white-knuckle rampages.
Oh.
Why are they
Pursuit
going
that
5
even a
miles per hour?
snail would have a fighting chance
I don't
in.
know.
For more than 2 hours, police followed the suspect from their patrol cars, even though they probably could have gotten out and walked faster. Why this chase
Oh,
never got
B,
above
that's
30
hilarious.
miles an hour, we'll never know. But at least he doesn't have a speeding charge added to his rap sheet.
What was he getting in trouble for to
What do
begin
you do
with?
when you run out of gas and need to get somewhere in a hurry? How about load up your saddle and head down the freeway on horseback? That's exactly what Adams Hollingsworth
You get
did
on
on
your
Chicago's
trusty steed.
I-94. Flanked by more than a dozen cops, the colorful cowboy and his ride broke into gallop for several miles before finally coming to his senses. When asked why he didn't pull over straight away, he had only one answer.
Snake in my boot.
The key to any good escape plan is knowing where all exits are. This guy had the right idea, but his execution could use some work.
Oh,
Out the window, he certainly didn't.
Thought he was gonna make it.
dang.
They say the best
That
place
was
to
rough.
hide is right in plain sight. And what a better way to test this theory than right in the middle of a police pursuit, hiding in between a parked car and a fence. This fugitive couldn't
That
believe
is
his luck
crazy.
when the cops walked straight past him, completely oblivious to the fact he was just a few feet away. Reporters and news helicopters circling above desperately tried to make contact with the dumbfounded police on the ground.
I think
Even
we got
after
him.
the tip-off, it was a miracle they actually found him.
What?
What?
Seen him yet. This is unbelievable. There we go. Oh my gosh.
This
I
police
thought he
chase
was gonna
started
get
out
away
like
with
any
it.
other,
Me too.
Swerving in and out of lanes, narrowly missing other cars. This was a
Oh.
criminal with zero intention of stopping. But even as police retreated to a safe following distance, life was about to throw this suspect a curveball. Instead of giving up to the cops who were closing in, this man saw his chance and made the ultimate escape. Something tells me he doesn't
No
have a
way.
ticket though.
Oh.
That's too good of luck.
Sometimes even innocent people get dragged into high-speed pursuits, like the
Oh,
passengers
no.
in this limo. The driver of which is on a suspended license and running from the cops. Reaching
Oh,
speeds
no.
in excess of 150 miles an hour, the strain was eventually too much for the luxury stretch vehicle, with the transmission giving out in a puff of smoke. Unable to continue driving forward, the petrified limo driver did what any normal person would do in this situation.
Reverse.
Drive backwards.
He's the best backward
reverse police
driver.
chase went on for
Reverse,
another few
Terry,
minutes before the
reverse.
touched the turn and backed into a tree.
Man.
You were
While
doing
most
so
cases
good
begin and
until
end
that.
behind the wheel, one of these wanted armed robbers has a hidden skill up her sleeve that will help her make
Oh.
a sneaky getaway. After hitting speeds of 95 miles an hour through residential streets, the duo's luck had seemingly run out. Unable to shake the cops, they ditched the car in a back alley and made a run for it. After scaling a fence and leaping from building to building, it's pretty clear she isn't just a petty crook. She's a parkour
She must have been
pro.
like an extra in Fast and Furious.
That's not good for the roof.
Unlucky for her,
That's
though.
not good
Guys in
for
the
the
sky
roof.
captured her every leap, resulting in
What'd
the
you
pair
say?
being cornered
I said
on the
that she
roof
must
of
have
a
been
shack.
extra in
At
Fast
least
and
they got
Furious.
one last
She must have
romantic
been.
hug.
Oh, there we go.
What's the best getaway vehicle you can think of? A Bugatti? Lamborghini? Well, what about
Nah,
one that police are
log truck.
too terrified to follow? This criminal had the genius idea of stealing the world's most unfollowable ride. A fully loaded lumber truck.
Wow.
The truck stealing criminal was a local hero, even getting high fives from enthusiastic onlookers.
That one guy, he just gave him a high five.
Things became heated when sparks from an
Never washing
exposed
this hand
wheel rim
again.
caused the lumber to
Yeah.
ignite, engulfing the
Oh.
rear of the truck in flames.
Oh.
With toxic smoke and a flaming cargo that frequently spilled onto the road, police had to wait for their moment. Thankfully, they got their chance, and a lucky shot from an officer would be the undoing of this car chase from hell.
Look, you can see one running up to the cab there. No, I think he's
He's still going.
This
You
dude is
ain't
playing
stopping.
way too much Tony Hawk and not enough GTA. After crashing his car, this guy grabs the next best mode of transportation he can find, a
Skateboard.
longboard. The only problem is he isn't great at riding it. And in no time at all, cops and a good Samaritan have
Dang.
him cornered and cuffed. And while this good citizen may have helped bring one criminal to justice, sometimes you end up helping them escape. When this stolen Ford Mustang ran out of gas on the
That's a nice
freeway, the
Mustang.
criminal behind the wheel thought his days were numbered. Pushing the car onto the off-ramp, he was joined by a friendly stranger who just wanted to
That's
lend a hand.
hilarious.
Oh, is that sweet?
And that's a criminal.
Aiding and abetting. Maybe if he knew the cops were on the way, he wouldn't have been so generous. After a few minutes pushing uphill, the shirtless criminal decides he's had enough, running away and making a beeline for 7-Eleven instead. I wonder if he even said thank you. This guy's either the coolest criminal ever, or the police department needs some serious funding. After officers called off a pursuit due to excessive speed, this guy simply parked his car and walked away as though nothing ever happened. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we found the real-life
What?
Trevor Phillips.
Yeah.
It's not every day police
That
have to
dude
chase
was
down a
just
stolen
casually
forklift
walking
through suburban
away,
streets, especially one driven by a 12-year-old kid. For over an hour,
Oh,
this
I've
dude.
driven
preteen
one of those
badass
before.
led cops on a wild goose chase through Michigan. Legend has it, he's still driving.
He's the curb.
From someone who takes 3 attempts just to back into a parking space, I don't like
Oh
my
man,
chances.
that was good, guys. That was hilarious, especially that last guy just casually walking away.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know how he did it.
Was that your favorite clip?
Yeah.
My favorite was probably
I
the one
don't
of
know.
that guy hiding
I don't
in
know.
the
The
car.
grandma was pretty good on the
No.
scooter. That was pretty good. But I don't know. Let us know what your favorite clips are down in the comment section, and we will see you guys later. God bless y'all, and y'all have a good one.